So what is the absolute biggest risk to your broadcasting license? I mean, is it a blown amplifier, a random power surge, or maybe you just put your antenna in a bad spot? Well, actually, it's something entirely different, and it's a real-world problem that could literally bring the FCC right to your front door.
You guessed it, it's harmonics causing TV or maritime interference. According to our source material, if your transmitter is just pushing out unfiltered harmonics, you are practically begging for complaints. And those complaints are the absolute most common cause of federal fines, or even worse, mandatory equipment shutdowns.
Welcome to today's Explainer. Today we are getting totally hands-on in mastering the LPFMAX 3K Plus low-pass filter. If you're a focused builder looking to deeply understand how to protect your broadcast integrity and keep your transmission perfectly clean, well, you are in exactly the right place.
Okay, let's dive right into this. We've got a clear 5-step roadmap today. 1. The threat of RF harmonics. 2. Enter the LPFMAX 3K Plus. 3. Premium hardware construction. 4. The DigiAmp integration system. And finally, 5. Essential technical specifications.
Starting right off with part 1, the threat of RF harmonics and protecting your signal. You know, operating high-power RF amplifiers without a proper safety net is incredibly stressful. RF amps naturally produce harmonics at even multiples of your fundamental frequency, and honestly, that's exactly where the danger lies.
The source states this plainly, and I really want to emphasize this quote. If your harmonics fall on or near a TV channel or maritime frequency, you could cause severe interference. Guys, those are highly monitored frequencies. Interfering with local TV or a ship's communications isn't just a tiny oops moment, it has severe real-world consequences. Trust me, you do not want angry maritime operators looking for you.
Which brings us to part 2. Enter the LPFMAX 3K Plus, your ultimate shield. This specific low-pass filter is engineered to act as a definitive, rock-solid defense for your transmitter setup.
Now, what's really interesting about the design here is the physical build of the board itself. Notice those distinct, incredibly thick silver-plated wire coils. And look at the layout. It is completely flat. This isn't just about looking sleek. That perfectly flat profile is designed specifically so you can mount it incredibly easily directly onto your heatsink.
And you are absolutely going to need that heavy-duty heatsink mounting, because it handles a staggering amount of power, greater than 3,000 watts. As long as you provide forced air cooling, this filter is duty cycle rated for continuous, non-stop operation at over 3 kilowatts. That's massive.
So, how does it actually pull that off without melting down? Let's transition to Section 3, Premium Hardware Construction, built for power.
Handling such high power safely requires top-tier materials. First up, the board is built on a high-quality PTFE laminate. It features those silver-plated coil wires we just talked about. It utilizes PCB caps, which allows for that perfectly flat layout, and it mounts with screws directly to the heatsink. This totally flat layout provides a massive advantage for thermal durability.
So, the crucial point here is how efficient this filter is once it's actually in your system, which brings us to insertion loss. Basically, this is just a loss of signal power you get simply from inserting a device into your signal path. But the LPFMAX, it has an incredibly low typical insertion loss of about 0.2 decibels. Because it barely loses any power, it works flawlessly whether you're at 1 watts or blasting 1500 watts and beyond.
All right, moving on to Section 4, the DigiAmp integration system, a perfect companion. Let's shift our focus to how this fits into your broader transmitter ecosystem.
If you're a builder or tinkerer, you're going to love this. It connects via literally one single flat cable. If you're mating this with the DigiAmp breakout board, which is built specifically for the Max Pro series exciters, FM transmitter integration is just incredibly easy. No massive bundles of messy wiring, just one simple, clean connection.
And through that single flat cable, you get a ton of telemetry. It enables measurements for SWR, power, amplifier supply voltage, current, and temperature. But here's the best part. It's not just passively watching. It actually provides automatic output level limiting and SWR protection to keep your amplifier totally safe from overdrive or overcurrent situations.
Let's get into the weeds here with Section 5, Essential Technical Specifications, the hard data. For the hardcore RF engineers tuning in, it's time for the raw numbers.
And this brilliantly illustrates what we're working with. We have a standard 50 ohms for input and output impedance. It maintains a super compact footprint at 218 by 52 by 24 millimeters high. Reflectivity at 145 MHz is roughly -40 decibels, and your typical F2 attenuation is greater than 60 decibels. It's serious heavyweight performance packed into a very small profile.
Now regarding frequency bands, right out of the box it comes fine-tuned standard for the 144 to 148 MHz 2-meter band. But the manufacturer offers custom optimization. If you need it for any narrow 5 to 10 MHz band inside that 120 to 170 MHz range, they can optimize it for you upon request. You just have to let them know.
Let's ground all these impressive technical specs in reality. At the time of our source's publication, the filter sits at an accessible price point of €199.99, with wholesale options if you are buying in bulk. Honestly, it's a really smart, calculated investment when you're trying to protect thousands of dollars of broadcasting equipment.
Which brings us to our final thought today. Take a hard look at your own setup right now. Are your broadcast harmonics actually properly filtered? Or are you actively risking your gear and your broadcasting license every single time you power on? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope this breakdown helps you evaluate and upgrade your transmission system safely.